dedicated to exploring social issues about children in Nigeria, brought to you by Playback Nigeria and AIT. My name is Tehila Zaman.
And I am Bengal Bashola. It is a global desire that every child has access to quality education across regions of the world. However, Nigeria is making slow progress towards ensuring that this is achieved. There are obvious challenges ranging from standard of education to infrastructure to agitation in the southeast, banditry in the northeast, and insecurities in the northwest, and many other social conflicts in every part of the nation.
Kidnapping by bandits is among the biggest organized crime and gang crime, which is a national security challenge in the country. Across the globe and across the world and across the nation, Nigeria has been battled with the cases of abduction of school children, which involve kidnapping from my local government area, Government Girls Secondary School in Borno State in April 14, 2014. Another 110 students were kidnapped from the Kaduna School, Government Girls Science and Technical College, on February 14, 2018. Just recently, 287 students were kidnapped, and they were kidnapped by motorcycle-riding unknown gunmen.
Today on the Children's Affairs, we are joined by Ms. Cristian Munduate, the UNICEF country representative in Nigeria, to discuss social school safety in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us, Ma.
Thank you for inviting me to be today, which is a very special day in Nigeria. It's a day where all children should be happy, and unfortunately, this is not the situation. So I think the program today will inspire many parents and many adults to commit and to bring a change for children.
Oh, thank you, Ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, what is your response to the alarming statistics on school attacks and abductions in Nigeria?
Well, at first we need to understand that these attacks, abductions, are really severe aggravations against the rights and the life of children, both boys and girls. The numbers are not small. We have a recounting of what has happened in the country between 2022 and 2023, and we have an approximate of 1,600 abduction of students at schools. So this really puts us in a very critical situation where parents feel very afraid to send their children to school, where teachers as well feel afraid to go and teach because it's about the safety of their students and also the safety of themselves and their lives. So this is not a minor problem, and we hope that this can be set at the top of the priorities of the agendas in all the states where this situation is happening, and also at federal level.
Thank you very much, Ma. And I totally agree with you that a lot of students and teachers and parents are scared of going to schools, especially in the rural areas. Well, in that case, how can we address the vulnerability of rural areas with inadequate infrastructure and security?
Well, many schools, hundreds and thousands of schools really need to have better accommodation in terms of safety. Safety, first of all, against banditry. We've seen that it's so easy to get into a school and just abduct 100 children, 200 children. It's amazing in terms of impression. It's really shocking that this can happen. So the investments need to take place, and when I say investments, is you cannot secure a school with a basic fence, with a door, with a lock, if there is no budget for that school to do the necessary adjustments. UNICEF has been working with some governors and in some states on school safety. And this is a package where UNICEF, for example, contributes with resources, with funds, to build, to rehabilitate, to repair some of the schools. But also the package brings training for teachers, training for children on what to do in different risky situations. One of them, as I say, linked with violence, with armed groups, with banditry, but on the other side also how schools can better be prepared when we have disasters or natural disasters, such as floods, for example, that they're frequent in the country. So there is a necessary factor that needs schools, teachers, children, families, and community to be prepared for these events.
Thank you, Ma. And most percentage of those being kidnapped in this unsafe school environment are girls, mostly adolescent girls, minors. So what are the impacts of unsafe school environments on child education, particularly on adolescent girls?
Well, not only the girls that have been abducted, because that is a very traumatic event. So, the ones that have fortunately been able to return to their families, they are traumatized, they are emotionally affected. So basically, for example, UNICEF provides psychological support to help them cope with this very traumatic experience. So those girls, but also the girls that are in schools and that parents feel there is a threat for them, they take them out of school. And I'm saying take them out of school because normally what you say, girls drop out of school. There is no child in the world who drops out of school. It's either the system who fails, it's either the community who is not providing the enabling environment, or the local authorities or the state authorities, or it's the parents for different reasons, in this case of what we are talking, fear for their lives. So they prefer to have the girls at home. I must say this is very complicated because this leads to early marriage. When the girl stays at home, has nothing, to do, has no opportunity to learn, to study, most probably the family believes that the best thing that can happen is the girl to be married so she will be saved. This brings a very vicious circle of poverty and a lot of factors where girls, as they become women, are in a very vulnerable and high-risk situation of being subject of gender-based violence. They become child mothers because you cannot say that a girl between 13 and 16, 17 years, her body is really prepared to become a mother. The body is still growing, it's still developing, and she is a child. It doesn't matter how much you want to put it, dress it, package it. It is a real violation. It is a horrible act to be marrying girls at such an early stage. What happens next is they have a baby, and then you have girls taking care of girls because she's still a child bearing a child. And I think this is even going against nature. You know, in nature, different species of animals, they wait until they're grown in an age so that they can procreate. And we expect much more from human beings, right? And this is why, you know, we need to reflect more on what is happening with children, both girls and boys in the country. I want to say that, yes, girls are very vulnerable, but we also need to think on boys. You know, when boys cannot go to school because their parents take them of fare or poverty, etc., or they are abducted, because also boys are abducted. They, these bandits, these armed groups, what they do, they start the brainwashing and they recruit the young boys. So I think that there are many reasons why we have to look in a very positive way. I know I have pictured a very not pessimist, but the real situation of the country. But this doesn't mean that things cannot change. I think there are many opportunities in the country that can make possible things to change and turn around. The only thing you need is will. It's a strong will to change things. The only thing you need is a huge commitment to the children of Nigeria to change things. And what you need is action that can translate in real results for children.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you.
Still speaking on the cases of young girls being married off, just recently, over 100 young women were married off in Nasarawa State. So what's your reaction towards such a case?
Well, what can I say? First, I want to say with full respect, I've been reading, following the news, and that there are, you know, arguments against and in favor. Some of the arguments in favor, it says it's tradition. And I say I fully respect tradition, but my question is, a 13, 14-year girl, is she ready to marry? And to marry, you know, with maybe someone that might be 50 years, 60 years. This goes against nature. There's no reason why this should be happening. So it is very unfortunate. I think that, you know, at times, synergy, customs, ways of doing things drives people, right? Because it has been so, it has to continue so. And the question is, because it has been so, and it has to continue so, what is the result we have in the country? Right? What we see in Nigeria nowadays. So some things are happening that are not the right things, because the results is the Nigeria we have today. 10,000 children out of primary school is one result. 8 million children out of junior high school is another result. Huge violence and criminality around the country, it's another result. So we all, and I say we because I honestly feel part of Nigeria, we all need to say, let us put a stop and let us see what has been happening for decades that is not correct. And this is not just about government. There is a society, there are communities, there are different types of leaders, there are different sectors in society that we should say what we are doing that instead of contributing to the well-being, to the development of the country, are just putting blocks to it, obstruction. So I said on the positive note, we should contribute to the population dividend. This country, largest population, their youth and children. Well, let us make the best for them, because investing in them brings prosperity and development of the country. There are no arguments against this. There's no evidence that available that can prove differently. So this is what we need to do.
Thank you, Ma. Ma, just briefly, could you please tell us what mental health support is available for those who have gone through the trauma and the post effects of such cases?
Okay, so because there is a reality and there are so many schools that have been closed, and so many children who have been, taken back to their homes, and parents, many parents who really want their children to learn. There are some programs, and UNICEF is supporting as well, first of all, technically, because we have technical expertise in education and communication, but also with contributing with some funds so that learning can be continued at home through TV, through radio, through internet, using the Nigeria Learning Passport. I can say that we are airing with NTA Knowledge and Radio Nigeria's Kaduna Zonal station for those children because of the recent abduction, and those schools that have been closed down, so that they can continue with their learning. They can learn to read, they can learn math, they can learn science, they can learn different things. And also there is a package for teachers, so they can also be prepared to do this distance learning. But the real point is, let us not disrupt education.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Well, happy day to you as well. And as I said, all children who have, like you, the opportunity to be well cared, to be well developed and have all these opportunities, let us think how we can help other children in the country. Thank you.
So let's talk about the economic loss that comes with an unsafe school environment. Yeah. Can you share more insights about that?
Yes, we made some studies last year on the cost of violence and against children, but in general as well in the population. What does this cost in the economy of Nigeria? And more or less, the costs are $6 billion per year. With $6 billion that the country is losing, with even $1 billion, just prioritize for education, you can make huge changes in different parts of the country. So instead of wasting $6 billion, let us take $6 billion on a yearly basis and invest them in education.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so briefly, can you tell us what things lies ahead if we fail to prioritize school safety in Nigeria?
Well, if we fail to prioritize school safety, I already said children will not attend to school, they will grow, they become adults, young adults, without jobs, without income opportunities. They will get married as they grow.
Thank you so much,
and they will become poor.
Yes. We've been talking to Ms. Cristian Munduate, the UNICEF country representative in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Ma, for being a part of our show today. And a big thank you to our viewers for tuning in.
Thank you.
This program is brought to you by Playback Nigeria in collaboration with AIT. As Playback Nigeria, we use transformative power of art and media for social change, development, and community transformation.
If you'd like to be part of our initiative, either as a volunteer, actor, partner, or donor, you can check our work on our website at www.playbacknigeria.com. You can also call us on 090-72-808091 or email us on office@playbacknigeria.com. You can check our social media handles at Playback Nigeria on X, which was formerly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can join us tomorrow as we commemorate the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. My name is Tehila Zaman, and it has been a pleasure to host you with
Bingo Bashala.